Hi friends! Today we're going to go on a little garden tour around the raised bed garden. So I'm going to show you guys all the things that I'm growing this year and tell you about all the varieties that, well, the varieties that I can remember, but I'm pretty good about everything that I planted. So I'm going to bring you guys through and we're just going to take a walk and I'll show you guys what is in all of my beds currently in July and some of the things that I'm probably going to be looking forward to here in the fall. But for right now, we have these really pretty climber roses. So this is their first year. You can already see they've put out their big stems. So these are all going to need to be trained over onto the arch here in the beginning. And here in this bed, I have a mixture of just all kinds of beautiful zinnias. A lot of them are from Floret. If you are into different kinds of zinnias, I definitely highly recommend starting to collect seeds from them. And these are seeds, like, I can actually save these, but the thing is I don't have them, you know, singled out on their own. So I love to support people that do seeds, and so I just grab some new ones as years go by. But there are some really amazing varieties that come along with their seed groupings. On this panel right here, you can see the panel goes up and over, and I have pole beans that are finally taking off. I feel like there was something that stunted them for sure this year. I'm not 100% sure what it was, but they did not grow right away like they are now. So we have these really pretty purple pole beans. I think these are called Trafonto Valeto or something like that. And then in here, this is actually just a mixture of all kinds of seeds that we've saved from the garden, just zinnia seeds, mass planted. And then on this side, I have another variety of pole beans. So these are Kentucky Wonder, and those will keep growing up as well. I'm going to swing around this way, and you can see there's more just real pretty, beautiful zinnias on this side. If I go here in this little square, we have different kinds of sweet peppers. So these are probably some of my favorites right here. These are called Candy Cane Chocolate Cherry, and they're variegated. Both the leaves and the peppers themselves are striped. Really, really fun variety. So just sweet peppers, some nasturtiums and marigolds that are in this one. On this panel here and on the other side, we have cherry tomatoes. So just different kinds of varieties of cherry tomatoes and marigolds. A very random zinnia right here. Really pretty one. Some lettuce that has bolted because it's too hot. So that's stuff that'll go to the chickens and be taken out. And we actually had a volunteer. No, we did plant this. I was like, we did not have a volunteer borage, but this is borage. I'm going to let it seed so that it stays in this bed right here. In this bed here, we have all of our determinate tomatoes. So these are your classic Romas, your sauce tomatoes, different things like that. So those are all right here in this bed. Some zinnias that were just planted intermixing. So that kind of goes all the way down to the end of here. We have some different kinds of herbs stuck in the middle as well. And then here, honestly, I plant these just for trap crop because they were planted later. It attracts different things that just stay on there and stay kind of off my other plants. And then just really cute lily put zinnias. I plant these for Viviana every time because they're just tiny, cute little ones. And a back of dill on the other side. And then if I swing over some of my panels, we didn't catch the tomatoes in time, so some of them are laying out, but that's okay. And then this bed here, so if I swing down, what I did for this bed is I actually planted peppers, basil, zinnias, and then basil peppers. So you have your pepper plants, you know, on the outsides. The basil kind of holds them. So I don't stake any of my pepper plants. They usually are pretty all right when they're planted with basil like that. This one is a little bit full. I might do less basil next year, but I feel like the pepper plants are still doing really good. So I have all different kinds of basils in here. We love drying basil and making basil tea. And then there's some zinnias that are popping up through. And it just smells so good. So we actually did this, I think this is probably 4 years now that I've planted basil with peppers. I highly recommend it. I feel like it just works really well with each other and they support each other. You don't need to stake your pepper plants and all the things. So that's why I keep doing it year after year. But here we have What is that? Some sort of bug. I'm letting this go to seed and we'll save the dill seed from this. These are really fun to put in bouquets and also obviously for pickles and stuff like that. This whole bed is celosia. So all different kinds of varieties of celosia. I have little baby cats and they are tearing around in my garden. It's absolutely driving me insane. But here you can see just the variegation on some of this stuff is just real pretty. They're just starting to put on the plumes on the top. So that's super exciting. This bed, we did have beans in it and then the little cats destroyed all the stuff, but the cosmos were kind of unaffected and they're just growing and living their best life right now. These are really, really pretty. Love this color right here. Yeah, so right here you can see too, like the pepper plants. And we try to trim the basil and cut it from the sides so that it doesn't just take over, but it is pretty big. So I might have to do a little bit less basil next year, but that's okay. This is a planting of just peppers, zinnia, and peppers, and then some marigolds sprinkled in there as well. So I just have a bunch of varieties of peppers. There's like brown jalapenos, lots of jalapenos because I like to make all kinds of jalapeno products. So this bed here is exactly the same as the other long one, but these are all sweet peppers. So your bell peppers, mini bells, all kinds of just different sweet peppers are in here. Same planting mixture, all kinds of zinnias. I just love zinnias. They're so fun. Artichokes, not sure if they're gonna make it. They were doing really, really well, but then I feel like, I don't know what happened. They started getting really yellow leaves and stuff like that. So not sure if they'll make it, but these marigolds are just loving their life. We started all of these from seed. My mom actually did 2 huge whole flats of them. So that's exciting. And here we have our big, big slicer tomatoes. So I tried these panels for the first time and they're on both sides in the big beds. And we did geraniums on the front side. So I thought that was really fun. Just something different. You can see some of them kind of slid over. So I think with these panels, you still are going to have to tape them or tie them or something like that because they do kind of fall over on each other. So I'm leaving them right now because I don't want any of the tomatoes to fall off. But these do work really well if you can keep them up. But if the wind kind of shifts them a lot, then it's really hard to keep them, you know, growing upwards instead of falling over. There you can see pretty big slicer in there. Super excited. What variety is that? Abe Lincoln or Custo Luto Genovese. That's definitely a Genovese. All the little ribbons on them. There you can see some more tomatoes. Super excited for slicers, not gonna lie. So yeah, it worked actually really well. I'm curious how tall they're gonna get because usually we have the really big panels and they just grow up on that and they kind of keep going, but we'll see how tall they get before they start to flop over. But it's becoming a wildness in here. The August garden I'm super excited for. It just becomes wild and crazy. These are just hyacinth pole beans, so more like a decorative bean. They have these really pretty purple flowers, if I can find any. I don't know. They're just really fun to grow. We grow them almost every year. Just something fun. Here we did a chives plant, so this is a perennial for us here. And this will stay right here. And some fun marigolds just tucked in to help with bugs. And then more cherry tomatoes right here, tucked in with, there's more zinnia seeds in here. Some zinnias growing. There's room for some more stuff right there. This bed here has peppers and nasturtiums and zinnias and marigolds. So right here, nasturtium flower, really, really high dose of vitamin C if you need anything like that. But here you can see there's peppers growing. So exciting. And this one has cherry tomatoes as well. And some different varieties of cherries, just still cherries I put on the hoops. These are more indeterminate tomatoes. So your giant slicer style tomatoes planted on both sides. They're brown sugar. This is probably one of my favorite tomatoes, hands down. So good. And then more geraniums here on the front of them. And I think we have lemongrass, which I'll show you guys when I get to this bed is going to be full of garlic here soon. We're going to plant this full of garlic The onions are all done, so we're gonna amend it, you know, put a little bit more nutrition in it, put the garlic in there for the fall. This bed here is also a mixture of peppers and zinnias, marigolds, just a really good combo in all honesty. And then just some really fun sweet peppers, different shapes, and then things like that. I'm gonna swing back over here. And this wildness of tomatoes. These are Cosmos, just two different, actually no, there's more of that. I think there's like 4 different varieties of Cosmos in here. These are just getting ready to bloom. I've never actually grown this kind of Cosmo. The leaves are very different from just like what I imagine a Cosmo leaf to look like. I'm excited to see these. Oh, right here. There are these really pretty orange. That's pretty. So all Cosmos in there, all Cosmos in here. This is my favorite flower. I make room for flowers to be in here, and you gotta attract the pollinators somehow. So we do different things like that. Zinnias, I also love to cut bouquets, so I make room for lots of flowers. Here we have a dahlia. These are sweet potatoes. Ooh, how pretty is that? Wow, stunning. We're gonna try sweet potatoes in there. I think we're late, but it's okay. Gardening's an experiment. Over here we have the Kiku Caranthus melons. I think they're almost ready. They're getting softer. So what we did for these panels, we're growing all the melons up and cucumbers up. And then here I have my first ever Kajari melon. I'm so excited. I've never actually successfully gotten one. So there's 1, 2, and I think there was another, 3 baby melons on there. I'm so excited. I'm trying really hard to keep that thing alive. And on the other side, I think these are melons as well. This is called the Minnesota Midget Cantaloupe melon. They just stay little. That's why I'm growing these on the arches, because they're smaller melons. This bed right here is all different kinds of celosia as well, different from the other one. Hello, beautiful rose. Wow, so pretty. So these are the matching climber rose to the other side. Here in front, you can see for the arbor. And the rest of this bed is just Swiss chard, fun for chickens, fun for salads, smoothies, different stuff like that. Some more marigolds, a trap crop of kale to attract bugs to that stuff. Here we have another variety of cantaloupe. So these are growing up, training them up to try and get them to the top. And here we actually have quite a bit of little cantaloupes on them. So that's super exciting. Also not sure what's happening. I feel like I have boring beetles on this plant. We're gonna spray it with something because I need it to actually keep the melons alive. Zinnias, marigolds, cucumbers, more of like a pickle style cucumber. And that, I believe, is all. Oh, this is just zinnias. We just planted a whole bunch of zinnia plants everywhere in this garden to try and get the pollinators to come back because the space is brand new. So that is the raised bed garden, and I'm super excited for it. It's doing really well. Soil has been great. I'm super excited to see what it turns into. Have these lovely pots here sitting in the front, and down here, I'll actually walk down here. I did this video, and then when I went to edit it, it was gone. So I had to redo the front of it. So that's why we're walking through the raised bed garden. But here I have my towers. Currently there's strawberries in them right now growing. There's some random strawberries that we've gotten already. This one had lettuce in it in the spring. It was really nice, but now we're gonna redo it. More strawberry plants. There's more strawberry beds over here. And then behind the garden, I couldn't not use the soil because it was actually part of my original garden. So I was like, well, I think I'm gonna have to put more beds in because I can't leave soil alone. I don't know, it's just in my nature. But it's kind of a wild mangy mess right now. The tomatoes are huge and we put them in between 2 panels, but here one flopped out. There's calendula growing, nicotiana, which smells really, really good. And these are both David Austin roses. Really pretty roses. They'll get huge, 4x4, and they're in the ground, so they'll reach every bit of that. And same with this one over here. Cosmos, and just a whole bunch of big tomatoes. These all got this like leaf curl garbage. So they have tomatoes on them, so we're just gonna let them go, and hopefully they can at least get the tomatoes ripe, but we'll see how they do. The other side's fine. The other side has nothing. It's really strange, not sure. But we did realize the ground here is really wet, so I'm not sure, you know, we'll see. That is the raised bed garden. Here's the lemongrass on the back side of the big tomatoes. I've never actually harvested this, so I'm really excited to see what we can do with it. Oh, look at the dew from the morning. So pretty. I wanted to show you guys along the edge here. We tried this. We're doing Russian sage, different kinds of sage, different kinds of salvia, some perennials, and just planted them in the ground because I kind of want to soften the edges of the rock. So I have these growing along the edge here, and I'm probably going to add more. That one is doing fantastic, the edge there. So I'm hoping the others get as big as those. And like if they don't, obviously I'll just replace them and put something else there, but it's fun. It definitely softens the edges of a volunteer tomato. That's hilarious. And these are really big rose bushes as well. And they match on both sides. So there we have the rock wall you can see, and then it swings over, and here is the row garden. And then the big rock wall, and on top is all lavender. You can see like grass and stuff poking up, so it'll be interesting because they didn't put any kind of tarp down, so we'll just see, you know, what it's going to take to keep the grass and stuff from coming up out of the rocks. That's it. Here in July. Just a lot of fun flowers to try and play with and see how they do. I'm super excited. Gomphrena. Oh yeah, just lots of good things. Lots of good things. We ended up going with the grass pathway because I wanted it to be soft and be able to be mowed. This is a volunteer Cosmo. More zinnias tucked into here. We actually had some room to do sweet corn this year, so I'm excited for this. We did plant it a little late, but this type of sweet corn also doesn't get super tall, so I think it'll be fine. We'll give it a go. Some more Cosmos. More just variety of pincushion flowers. Lots of beautiful things. This is actually a poppy. Just getting ready to open. And then we have some, oh, what is this? Lebanamist. These are so cool looking. I just love how they look. Lots of fun little flowers. The soil here is just gonna be work in progress because it's all brand new. And then here we have cucumbers, marigolds. This is okra, so that'll get really tall. Sunflowers, some mini versions, really pretty. And up here we have some more sunflowers, just little baby ones. This is my potato bed right here. Ended up spraying it with BT to keep the potato bugs off, but they are starting to yellow now, which means the potatoes are forming, so I'm excited to see and get those dug up and see how they look. These are probably going to be the first ones that we're digging up, the way that they're looking. So if you're new to potatoes, these will actually turn yellow, kind of flop over sometimes, but once they're yellow and brown, kind of yucky looking, usually the potatoes are done forming. You can dig them out and see what your harvest is. I always think it's so fun because you just don't know what you're going to get. And that's kind of, I don't know, just a fun surprise in the garden. Things that are underground. Same with like carrots and beets. I just love that stuff. I think it's so fun. Up here we have some more perennials to do our end caps and more flowers in this one as well. Down to the sweet corn. This is actually a Rose of Sharon tree. I'm so excited to see this one get big and grow because this is actually my north side. Pointing down is my south side. This is a huge black raspberry bush. It did so well. We ate so many berries off of it. So my goal is to take this section here and actually put braces around them and support, and then actually plant some more on the top side here to have a bunch of those. Here you can kind of get a good aerial glimpse of the beautiful raised bed garden. Viviana and Jacoby's little playhouse over here has sunflowers. that came up super early. It was so amazing. And so now the seeds are all setting and the birds are actually starting to eat them. That's cool. Little baby sunflowers. Love it. Love it so much. Alrighty, let's run behind the house and I will show you guys the big raised beds that are behind the house yet, and some of the landscape, just what we planted this year, how it's filling in, some ideas, different things like that. Yeah, just show you that. Under the trees here, I have some more hostas that I put in and lilies. I'm not sure what this plant is. It was here when we moved in. I think this is a stilby. And then we have hellebores, my little pot set up over here with geraniums, kind of some spiky looking flower or plants. These are actually perennials, so they'll go in the landscape in the fall. Lots of house plants outside growing, looking good. Back here, this is ready to actually be cut back so it can bloom again. But this is cat's pajama nepeta. I'm so excited for these. Love lilies. They're gonna be so pretty. Here, just have annuals. We put some hollyhocks back here, so those are actually gonna be perennials. And this is a huge, huge hibiscus plant that we kind of staked. You can't see the stake, which is what I was hoping for, but huge plant. And it is this beautiful kind of mauvey pink color. We also have these jet black hollyhocks, but this thing is like shooting out like crazy. I actually cut quite a bit off of it just because I didn't want to like have the flowers just go to waste and lay on the ground. And then we had some more lilies. I'm pretty sure this is a volunteer corn plant. Wasn't sure what it was to start with, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And then back here we just have a bunch of perennials that are filling in and growing nicely. I tried some hollyhocks up here. Not sure how they'll do. We'll see. And then up on my porch I have geraniums and kind of some pretty hanging pots and lots of houseplants. Then back here, Mike actually accidentally got too close with weed killer to my hydrangeas. And these are 3 years old. Actually, no, they're 2 years old. Now 3. Yeah, they're 3 years old. I think they're gonna make it, but they look stressed big time. This one's kind of bumping out of it, I think. But whoo, that was terrifying. This bed here is a complete mess. It is a huge asparagus bed, and I don't know what else is all growing in it, but it needs to have soil put in. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna let the asparagus go. Once it's done and it dropped its berries, then we'll cut it and get soil put in, tear all the weeds out, and kind of start over. Over here, I actually planted this whole thing full of strawberries because I wanted some more strawberries. So we do have some in here. Ooh, yummy. Don't mind if I do. Perfect. I see one more big one over there. This is a raspberry shortcake and a bird is eating them, but they're thornless raspberries. Just kind of stay in this little cute bush. Growth habit, some parsley, some sage. I believe this is, oh, what is it called? Shoot, now I went totally blank on it. There are weeds in here, 100%. Always have weeds. Oregano, this one's so pretty. I love this beautiful purple color, but that one's gonna bloom in white. This is a sage plant, really pretty red flower. Thyme, more sage, some more chives, lavender plant. This one's kind of a work in progress because I decided to put a lot of herbs back here. And so now I have to figure out like how much room I'm gonna have to add some more. Our wild raspberry bush area and clematis that needs to be cleaned up. So the goal with this in the coming, either this fall when I can transplant them and they're done, but to make a row back here of just raspberries and actually have them staked and everything. And then this whole area is going to change quite significantly. Let's go around the front of the house really quick. show you guys what's growing up there. But yeah, that is kind of where July is at right now. It was super hot last week, insanely hot actually. And so a lot of the plants I feel like they're doing okay, because we did have some rain, but it was a little brutal, not gonna lie. So here we have lilies that bloomed and now they're kind of done. Sedum, this beautiful baby blue bush. I have strawberries in the landscape, beautiful Japanese maple, planted some new hostas under there. And up here, a lot of these bushes were here when we moved in here, but there is some stuff that I really want to reshape up here. But for now, it's kind of staying. I have these pretty hydrangeas up here, really pretty pink color, boxwoods, some more perennials. Tried to leave these pansies and put them in the ground. They're actually doing okay over here, but alyssum self-seeded, chamomile self-seeded, and some annuals over there. And these are the pots. I think I should have put this guy in the back the way that it's looking, but that's all right. Every year's a new learning curve. Ferns, houseplants. We had to actually chop this tree real bad because it got some sort of fungus type thing, and I really don't like to spray, so that was a big bummer. But so far it's looking okay, so we'll see how it does. In here we just have a bunch of perennials, hostas, hellebores, heuchera, lamium, just different stuff like that. But yeah, that is basically what is growing in the garden at this point. There's some stuff that we're working on. We did put some seeds in for radishes and carrots and stuff, but we'll see how it does with the heat still. Not sure. I think we're gonna have to wait until August. But here we have some pots of mint. And then here I have roses that I wasn't sure where to put, because these are from when the garden was planted and they'll go in the ground eventually. And then grapes, we got to build an arbor for these and put these in. They're actually table grapes, so I'm super excited how they're doing and getting these in the ground. But that is what is growing right now in July, and we are loving it. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I hope if you are growing a garden, it's growing amazing. And I hope you're enjoying every moment of it. Love this time of year. I wish you guys the very best for the rest of your growing year. Hopefully we can put an August garden tour, because the August garden is crazy. It grows like crazy. It is wild. It is beautiful. I love every moment of it. Wanted to show you guys what July looks like right now, because it was the first time I actually could do a full garden tour since the garden area is done. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.